New life was guaranteed by a mound of sand on top of the tombs, symbolizing the primeval mound of creation. That's the mound emerging from the primordial waters, and that's where life began. This mound had a very special importance, and in some early tombs we found backup mounds within the tomb pit in case the mound above desert level might have been destroyed. From this element developed the pyramid. So in pre-dynastic we have simple brick-lined tombs, sometimes separated into several chambers. From the beginning of the first dynasty on, we have monumental tombs surrounded by subsidiary burials. In the second dynasty we have gallery arranged tombs, no more subsidiary burials. Third dynasty we have step pyramids. Fourth dynasty we have the true pyramids. The basic idea in all the tombs is a house, to have a house. They all represent a building the king could use in his afterlife. In some tombs this is obscured by the addition of more and more storerooms, but in the center usually we have the house. In the very beginning the tombs were just pits filled in with the burial and some offerings. But when the amount of offerings became too much, they separated the tombs into several chambers. But they had a very practical approach and thought, well, how can the deceased reach his offerings? So they built in little holes or slits, model doors, so he could, the deceased could go from one chamber to the other. What is remaining tells us that the first concern for the afterlife was food, wine, and beer. There were huge amounts of wine jars in there, thousands of liters. This started already in the pre-dynastic when in Tomb UJ we found imported wine jars containing about 4,500 liters of wine. Quite an amount. But afterlife is a long period. You need to provide for that. There was a lot of furniture in the tombs. We have fragments of wood, but also quite a lot of ivory, especially legs, depicting legs of bulls or lions, beautifully carved, but we have them in all kinds of sizes. Some are so small that they must come from little models. Other ones are bigger, up to 20 centimeters height. There is hunting equipment, especially in the tomb of King Jair. We found hundreds of beautiful arrowheads and all kinds of materials, crystal, ivory, obsidian, and so on. One of the most important roles of the king is to defeat the enemies. We see that on vase paintings, vase decorations already in Nakada 2D. And that continues, and we find it rather similar on the big pylons of the great temples through all the periods of Egyptian history. The equipment of the royal tombs reflects the administration of the whole country. The seal impressions tell us about all the different institutions of the administration. The inscriptions on labels or jars tell us what they used, what they drank, what they ate. We even have historic inscriptions there, labels giving year names, indicating the most important events of a year. And so they are also a source for the early history.